285 students poured into the campus like a flood. At first, the players got lucky. Matsuo, hiding on the playground, had students running past him nonstop. But his face was so black, everyone thought it was just the tire's shadow and completely ignored him. Kikuta, even though he was in a noticeable spot, wasn't found either. The students were too busy checking the gym's walls and drawers to even glance up. Shizuka was totally overlooked. No one even walked by her spot. Ishikawa's perfect desk disguise kept him safe for the moment. The first crisis hit Kurashina. His hiding spot was pretty concealed, but the hallway was packed. Sharp-eyed students didn't notice anything wrong with the elevator, but they quickly realized the hallway walls had narrowed. They gathered around the elevator doors, solved the puzzle in no time, and Kurashina was caught just 3 minutes into the game. No one expected the first elimination to be Kurashina, not Matsuo. Meanwhile, Mukai in the storage room faced trouble. Students swarmed in and started rummaging through everything. Mukai, hiding behind the wall, was too scared to breathe deeply. But even with the crowd, the students only gave the room a quick check and left without lingering. Back at the gym, Kikuta's luck didn't last. Students downstairs spotted him, making him the second eliminated player. Over to Akiyama, the music room was crowded. Someone even tried opening the fake door. But when it wouldn't budge, they left, completely missing the rotating secret door. On the other side, Matsuo was finally out. A student noticed the extra tire, squatted down to check, and immediately saw Matsuo, black as coal. He became the third eliminated player. Next, Okabe didn't hold on long. He dodged the first round of searches, but a few minutes later, students noticed the lab table's faucet wasn't working, and the number plate was a duplicate. Dozens of hands fumbled around checking it, and Okabe was pulled out of his tight spot, eliminated in the last few seconds of the first half. Now only 4 players remained. So far, Shizuka in the ventilation duct was the steadiest. Her spot hadn't aroused any suspicion. After the halftime break, the students went into full-on rampage mode. The first to be exposed was Ishikawa in the library. Students tapped on the desk and noticed the sound was different on both sides. They started a thorough search and, by chance, found the trigger at the bottom of the book. Ishikawa was eliminated, much to his regret. Akiyama didn't last much longer either. He locked the door to pretend the room was empty, but when students checked the other side and found it locked too, the safe room became a dead end. They surrounded it from both sides, spotted him through the glass panel, and caught him. Now only 3 minutes left in the game. The remaining players, Shizuka in the duct and Mukai in the storage room. The students launched a carpet search but still couldn't find anyone. As the search area shrank, they gathered back at the storage room. With less than a minute left, they frantically rummaged through the boxes, hoping to find one more player. Finally, with just 10 seconds left on the clock, a student found the entrance to the secret compartment. But by the time the student crawled in and grabbed Mukai, the timer went off. So close. Mukai narrowly won. And Shizuka, hiding in the ventilation duct, wasn't discovered by anyone the entire time. She was the perfect winner. Congratulations to the players for winning the 1 million yen prize. If it were you, could you have found Shizuka in the ventilation duct? To win $1 million, 5 players must hide on an abandoned cruise ship. If they can survive a 90-minute search by the hunter, they'll walk away with the $1 million prize. Player 1, David, planned to hang himself outside the cruise ship using a rope. This way, no matter how hard the hunter searched inside the ship, he would never find him. When needed, David could pull the side rope tighter to avoid any search coming from above. Even if the hunter pointed a flashlight downward, he still wouldn't see anything. Player 2, Ethan, the real master of camouflage, once again chose body paint. He turned himself into part of the ship's graffiti. The moment he leaned against the wall, he blended perfectly into the hull. With the dim lighting at night, unless the hunter checked the ship with a magnifying glass, Ethan would never be spotted. Player 3, Marcus, didn't rely on any complicated props. Instead, he chose psychological warfare. He found out in advance that the hunter had a serious fear of heights, so he planned to hide at the very top of the ship, in the lookout tower. He was betting that the hunter would skip the top deck because of it. Player 4, Emma, hid inside one of the sealed compartments in the cabin. Once the metal cover was closed, nothing looked unusual at all. On such a huge cruise ship, there were countless places like this, and the hunter could easily miss them if he wasn't careful. Player 5, Anna, set her sights on the crew's resting area. She modified one of the beds, removing the inner board so she could hide inside. It wasn't the most invisible hiding spot, but with hundreds of identical beds on a cruise ship, finding her would not be easy. All 5 players were in place, and the 90-minute extreme search officially began. This abandoned cruise ship was huge, complex, and creepy, but the hunter came prepared. He crossed the deck and entered the ship. His first target was dozens of guest rooms. Obviously, it was impossible to check every room in detail, so he focused only on places large enough to fit a person. Rooms that were too damaged were barely glanced at. After spending more than 10 minutes sweeping through the rooms, he headed down the corridor into the engine room, Emma's hiding spot. The hunter immediately noticed the sealed metal cover. There was no way he would skip examining something like that. He spotted fresh rust flakes near the entrance, which made him even more certain something was wrong. As he went deeper, he found a small stool covered with snacks, but no person. Ahead was only flooded space. Just as he was wondering where she went, Emma was deemed caught, and the scare she gave him almost made the hunter jump. He continued his search and soon reached the crew's quarters. To save time, he did only a quick check, flipping through a few lockers before leaving. He didn't notice Anna hiding inside the bed frame. After finishing his sweep of the interior, he shifted his focus to the deck. There weren't many places to hide out here, but players often took risks in open areas. Still, after circling the deck, he found nothing. Despite clearly not wanting to, the hunter finally looked toward the lookout tower, the highest point on the ship. Face pale, he forced himself to climb up. Marcus, hiding above, watched the hunter get closer step by step, his heart sinking. He never thought the hunter would conquer his fear during an actual challenge. Even with shaking legs, the hunter still climbed to the top. The moment Marcus saw him appear, he knew the psychological battle was lost. The hunter had won. After catching Marcus, the hunter walked around the deck again. He was about to leave when he suddenly stopped near a pile of old ropes. Small details decide everything. 2 ropes tied to the railing looked too new compared to the rusty ones around them. Following the ropes downward, he saw David hanging on the ship's side like a piece of dried meat. Because he had been hanging too long, David was exhausted and no longer had the strength to pull the rope and hide. He could only stare awkwardly at the hunter. At his age, was this struggle really worth it? With David caught, only 20 minutes remained. The hunter suddenly wondered if someone else might also be hiding outside the ship. He checked the anchor underwater, and just in case players tried something extreme, he jumped straight into the sea. He swam around the ship, even checking the propellers, only to find nothing. Soaked and freezing, he returned to the hall and changed clothes. With only a few minutes left, everyone thought he would give up. But instead, he made one last push. He began a full sweep of the rooms, hoping to get lucky. When he reached the crew's resting area again, he didn't skip a single suspicious spot this time. Hiding inside the bed, Anna was found in the final seconds and was eliminated. The 90-minute challenge ended, and the hunter announced the result. During the final reveal, when Ethan casually walked out from the ship's graffiti, the hunter could not believe his eyes. The person he had been searching for so desperately had been right in front of him the entire time. Though unwilling to accept it, the hunter still congratulated Ethan for winning the $1 million prize. So here's the question. If you were the hunter, would you have spotted Ethan hidden inside the ship's graffiti? To win $1 million, 6 players must hide in every corner of the subway station. If they can get through a 1-hour search by the hunters, they'll win the $1 million. Player 1, Emma, noticed that the subway station was flooded with water everywhere, so she chose the sewer as her hiding spot. She'd pre-made an iron basin that could fill with water automatically, sized to fit the sewer entrance. Once she hid inside, from the outside it looked just like a sewage-filled sewer drain, completely natural, and almost no one would suspect someone could be hiding there. Player 2, Sophia, took advantage of the rule that players couldn't hide beyond the police tape. She'd prepared a red and white road barrier in advance, hollow on the inside for her to hide in, then placed it at the entrance to the subway tracks. She intentionally made the hunters think this was the police tape, avoiding being searched. Player 3, Noah, had his eye on a train parked in the corner of the station. He noticed each carriage had a bellows-like connecting section, so he faked a connecting device to hide inside. But maybe it was a budget issue, because his device looked pretty shoddy. If the hunter had sharp eyes, he'd probably be the first one out of luck. Player 4, David, had scouted the place a few days earlier and noticed no trespassing signs all over the station. So he stuck a no entry sign on the iron gate where he planned to hide and locked the gate from the inside. Hunters couldn't open it from outside at all. The show's rules banned hiding in fully enclosed spaces, so he hid the real entrance behind the warning sign. Plus, the subway was still running normally during the game. Hunters would worry about safety, and he was sure they'd just leave once they saw the gate wouldn't open. Player 5, Jack, and Player 6, Mike, decided to team up. They hid in 2 adjacent tunnels under the duty room, planning a sacrifice one to save one tactic. Even if one got caught, the other could survive. Jack hid in a narrow ventilation duct, and to make it look untouched, he set up lots of cobwebs at the entrance to fool the hunters. Mike hid in the next tunnel over, and to guarantee victory, he'd been schmoozing the station staff for days and even asked 2 of them to cover for them. Talk about double insurance. All 6 players had finished hiding, and the 1-hour search began. The station had a complicated layout, was run down and dimly lit, and there were countless spots to hide. But as an experienced top hunter, he quickly mapped out a search route in his head. He first darted through the hall, not missing a single hiding spot, then rushed to the train area, checking the exterior storage compartments and door gaps of the trains in a flash. Within minutes, he reached David's no-entry iron gate. Even with the no-entry sign, he couldn't skip checking a spot like this. But after trying for ages, he couldn't open the gate, and with the occasional buzzing from the electrical box next to it, he started wondering if this really was a restricted facility. Worried about safety, he had to give up for now. David, hiding inside, had narrowly escaped. He followed the tunnel into an underground passage. It was cluttered with junk, but there was nowhere to hide. Next, he reached Jack and Mike's hiding spot. As a veteran hunter, he always checked places like this carefully. He opened the door and saw a cobweb-covered hole. He pulled down the webs and realized they were just cotton. That made him 100% sure someone was hiding there. He was about to go in and grab them when a station worker suddenly appeared, demanding to know what he was sneaking around for, telling him he had to wear a helmet and ordering them to stop filming immediately. The hunter suspected the worker was an actor hired by the players, but the worker's tough attitude and uniform made him back off for now. After all, he already knew there was a player here. He could just come back later. The hunter kept walking, and before long he reached Noah's spot. He checked the train quickly and immediately noticed the connecting section. Noah's fake device was not only way shorter than the real one, but also super shoddy. The hunter immediately grabbed it, pulled it off, and there was poor Noah sitting inside like a fool. If he'd splashed out on a more realistic prop, he might not have been the first one eliminated. He walked to the end of the train and soon reached Sophia's road barrier. Seeing workers busy beyond what he thought was the police tape, just as Sophia had hoped, he turned around without checking the barrier. Sophia grinned triumphantly, but her smile didn't last long. On his way back, the hunter saw a manhole cover. He lifted it, and a stench hit him. But to stop any sneaky players from taking risky spots, he didn't hesitate to climb down. It was a muddy, smelly drain with rusty pipes on both sides, nowhere to hide at all. He walked through the sewer for a few minutes, climbed out of a pipe at the end, and unexpectedly ended up back at Sophia's spot, where he spotted her trapped clothing. He couldn't help laughing at the dramatic twist.
Это же ненормально.
А меня не видно.
After eliminating Sophia, half the time was up. The hunter started focusing on spots he'd missed, not even skipping a single manhole cover.